So I don't remember the Vladimir the previous. Oh, I guess it was their
That
last pick
was
right
TP,
before we
TP's
left.
last pick
Okay, yeah.
was the Vlad. These are not the actual bans. We're going to recap the actual bans here. Fnatic banned out Anivia, Orianna, and Rengar. TPA taking out Lee Sin, Zyra, and the Blitzcrank.
Okay, yeah, so that's definitely kind of expected, a lot of those bans. But both teams, have a really strong comp. Both teams kind of feel they manipulated the, game their way. I'm really curious to see who's going to win, some of this early aggression. If TPA can try and shut down Evelynn some. We've seen earlier, a lot of teams against that Evelynn, they're actually sending their AD and support mid. And that's something that TPA has done a lot in the past. In that, Garena League, a lot of those teams, they actually started doing that. And they like sending their AD and support mid. They'll send someone bot. In this case, it's going to be tough. Like, I don't know that they want to send TF into one of those side solo lanes because it puts them at risk of ganks. But we'll have to see. That's always an option.
Yeah, granted, TF can actually stay down there for quite a while. I mean, he has the blue card. He's not going to be running out of mana anytime soon. But it's just a matter of how long can he actually stay there. It's a matter of his health, not his mana, because he can actually be easily dove. And the ultimate, well, it'd be kind of a shame to actually use it exclusively as an escape.
Yeah, and here we go, guys. We're getting into this game. So as taking the teleport, so 2 teleports to deal with that TF. He knows that when his ultimate's down, that's going to be a weakness for them. So really interesting. We'll see some aggressive play there. But once again, guys, a shout out to ChampionSelect.net. If you haven't checked them out, they have really cool picks and band suggestions. Or if you have certain champions, they say, hey, what's a good matchup for you? So check that out. But here we go. We're in the game. There's the competitors. Look at the fierce intensity on their faces.
Reminder to everyone, too, this is a rematch of the first winner's bracket. And Fnatic did actually take that match 2-0. And also keep in mind, too, this is Season 1 versus Season 2 winners.
Yeah, and the previous time, Season 1 came out on top.
Yes,
but
it did.
The Season 2 winners making a resurgence through the loser's bracket. And it's going to be interesting to see. I think one of the scary things is going to be what's going on with the AD and support for TPA, because Bebe is very strong. We've seen that in the past. But Leona on N-rated, he's been able to make plays. If he can pick someone off, then that can always snowball TPA very easily. But he has to worry about that harass from Caitlyn and Sona. They can very easily wear down Leona to the point where maybe she can't go in aggressively. However, if they can't get that harass against the Leona, then Leona can easily dive onto Sona and pick up a quick kill for Ezreal and snowball that lane. Sona's really squishy, has to worry about that.
And not to mention that both of those supports get extremely volatile once they both hit 6. Those ultimates, massive amounts of initiation coming from both of those. Starting on out, Fnatic going over to their side entrance over onto North River. Toys actually getting just camping out south River Brush just for a little bit. And also remember, Xpeke on Evelynn. This is one of the best things you can have a level 1, the ability to scout this early on without being seen.
Yeah, they're all playing a defensive position, keeping an eye on each other. Enray just getting rid of that trap. He can heal back up. He's already back to full and prevent some of that vision. TPA dropping a ward outside of their jungle in both sides. So they want to prevent any early invades from Cyanide. And Olaf is such a fast jungle clearer that we've seen that a lot in the past. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there and where the pressure is going to be from these two teams. If it's going to turn into kind of a passive game early on until some of these guys get their ultimates like TF, like Evelynn, or if maybe we see some aggressive early play. Because we've seen a lot of really aggressive early level strats from TPA.
Yep, and also just a lot of flat-out entertaining level 1 fights nearly this entire weekend. It's been a very action-packed weekend. A lot of great fights, a lot of pentakills too. Hopefully we can see some more of those today.
Yeah, it's really been an exciting weekend so far. And Stanley, he's heading up into the top lane. So standard lanes so far, TF, he's actually going to be going mid. He's sitting back for a second just to see if he has vision of anyone. He's going to be pulling that blue for Lil Balls. But they get a nice thing going here. But look at Fnatic sending Reckless and N-rated up top. They might go for a quick kill, try and catch out Vlad. There is the ward in the tri-bush, so he might be spotted. Or they could just go for this quick lane swap.
And N-rated assumably will be having that Sun Flash attack onto Stanley, actually more than enough so as camping out in the brush. Reckless going to be we've seen all this. There is the level 1 taunt down onto Stanley, looking to close the gap, buys the pool, level 1. He waited. Stanley did the smart thing. He did not buy his first ability just yet. He knew, he had a feeling something was up. He was right. manages to use the pool and gets the safety.
Well, it was more than a feeling. He saw him there and was able to respond pretty effectively. But having that flash down is going to be really dangerous in that very aggressive lane if Leona can pick him off. And then Shen, he uses the teleport to get down bottom lane. So a lot of times when you see that teleport, you kind of expect that early, cheesy kind of play, you want to say. But really aggressive level 1 from Fnatic to get them a lead. And not only that, all of this CS going to be missed by Stanley. So while Shen's okay bot, he was able to teleport down. Vladimir definitely in a weak position.
Cyanide also getting a little bit aggressive here, finding out Little Balls. They both have their double buff, I believe. So Little Balls also just holding the fort top lane. And you see Bebe coming up top lane here with Mistake. They want to go for the swap back.
Look at them pinging off Cyanide. They ping him right down the river, or right down the jungle. So you know he's coming after Toys. Toys starts to back off. Now he's going to be okay, but no, he's still being aggressive. Still kind of peeking out. So he's in a nice position here, defensive. He can keep an eye on Cyanide because they have that ward there. And
very
safe.
Very smart ward placement early on too. Just you have every single one of your defenses covered, and also notice it's TPA being protective of their north jungle. They know they may be wanting to make a lot of plays up there on top side map, but Toys is a little bit too far out. Popping the Ghost, Cyanide trying to get in, throws on the axe, but not going to be enough. Toys brought down to about half, and also Ignite used in that attempt.
Yeah, and he had to use his flash, so he knew that Olaf was in the area trying to pressure mid. A little bit surprising he's able to get in there, but level 3 up top, Leona jumping onto Sona, dropping him very quickly. Reckless trying to get the kill. One more attack, gets the first blood, and they had the level advantage. They pressed it the second they hit level 3. Impressive play from Fnatic.
Early kill. That's going to start snowballing things a little bit in Fnatic with an early 1K gold lead. Just off of that, just a little bit of farm. Most of the, look at the farm too between Soaz and between Stanley. That is 20-7 early on.
Sitting mid though. Little Ball's coming in. They have the vision of XPK. If Toys can hit that stun, the stun in the rupture. They chain a little bit, but XPK gets the flash out of there.
Very well done.
So he's going to be safe in that mid lane. But the flash down, it's going to open up both of those laners to throw off some aggression.
So this is killing a little bit of time for Mistake to actually arrive back here in top lane. Bebe, that is one of the advantages of Caitlyn too. That huge range, you can still farm relatively safely. Granted, yeah, it's still, you still have to juke a few things here and there, but not completely out of luck there in the top lane.
Yeah, but Reckless getting off to a good start, which is really significant for Fnatic. And, we've seen in the past, when he gets off to a good start as Ezreal, he's very good about pushing it, so as duking it with Stanley, and he should have an early advantage there. But, if Reckless gets off to a good start as Ezreal, that could help snowball XPK into this game. And the second Evelyn gets going, it's really hard to stop her.
See, Little Ball's making his way back here in the top lane. Nice pink ward. Where is it? There's the claws. I missed that. But Little Balls, after clearing out that ward in the top try, he's going to decide not to stick around all too much. The wave is being pushed back there in top lane. It's going to be a little bit more...
Sitting mid, though.
Oh, he is
They're
actually
good walking mid. It's
Cyanide actually in pursuit. There goes the gold card down. Anti-Evelyn Rupture following. Soaz missing the taunt, but Little Balls is in a very bad spot. Forced to use a flash gold card once again coming in from Toys. Lots of aggression, but no kills.
That could have been a kill for Fnatic. So as we had seen him hit so many taunts, so many flash taunts throughout this tournament, he's been really impressive with it. But missing there, and that would have been a great situation to get XPK a kill. He has the early Dorans to prevent some of that harass from Toys, but really he's looking for some early kills, chasing down Toys a little bit. So he's pretty comfortable in that mid lane.
So far in, we're looking on to the 7th minute. The early gold lead that Fnatic had from that early kill and some of the early farm is starting to go back. Mistake, though, caught out using the exhaust on Reckless, but the cleanse will keep him clear. Bebe, though, in a full rush, trying to get back in tower, drinking that health potion will be fine. That is 2 kills already onto Mistake.
That was the threat coming into this game. The fact that N-rated, he could be harassed down a little bit, but if Leona ever catches out Sona, she's just going to die, and that's going to snowball Ezreal very easily. But look at this, XPK making his way up through the top. They don't have vision of him. They have to ping out that he's out of there, but Leona jumping onto Bebe, gets the stun, is chasing him down. The cleanse from Bebe, but he's under the turret, and XPK, he's holding onto that ultimate. That shield is going to allow him to tank, but he has to worry because TF and the rest of TPA are coming up in this top lane.
Bebe knows he's there. Because remember, that was a pink ward top lane. Here comes the Shen. Oh, but Toys very quick to respond with a gold card. Gonna be getting a kill onto Evelyn. Soaz is slowed and ignited. Can TPA follow up with the pursuit? Gold card for the double kill. Going into some fate. Cyanide making his appearance will be spotted by the Tribrush ward. he knows he cannot make anything happen here. He will back off.
I'm a little surprised. XPK, we've seen such smooth play from him so far in this tournament for a long time now, but they knew they could have gotten that kill with the Shen ult, but he walked right into the trap. So walking into the trap as Evelyn, he was tanky enough to get the kill and get out, but by walking into the trap, they were able to chain CC him underneath the turret, which is what turned it around against them. Otherwise, they might have been able to get it out of there. So we'll see what's going on, how that helps TPA. It's still a gold lead for Fnatic, actually, but Soaz, with a great play, he's actually in the top lane. He's chasing down Mistake, and he does not have his Ignite, or he doesn't have an Ignite. He has a teleport, but it seems that they're going to swap lanes, and Vlad actually coming top as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a strange miscommunication, too, I think, coming in from Fnatic. It's like they saw that their ward was cleared. They should have known that that was pinked. Maybe XPK could have taken a different route, perhaps, but it happened. Might as well just move on.
Yeah, and we'll see TPA, Toys grabbing the blue. Caitlyn actually sitting up top for a little bit, but is recalling now. And Shen, we've seen Soaz leave the lane a lot, be very aggressive. There's the ultimate from N-Rated, though, on the Toys. The jump in, XPK is going to enjoy that kill if he can get it, but just not in range. Toys able to back out of there, throw off the stun, and get himself to safety.
Not enough damage quite yet. XPK does have those Magic Pen boots and that ring, but he's a little bit more oomph to actually follow up on that kill.
Mistake walked right into N-Rated.
That is the quick bush check face. Mistake does use the flash, try and get out of there, but there is a Soaz to block the path, grab the kill, and that's a dragon.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the dragon. The objective gold is going to be great for XPK. You have to imagine they're kind of hoping that XPK is going to grab some of these kills, but even so, the team's in a really great situation. Reckless is 3-0 right now, so he's 20 CS, also ahead of Caitlyn, and with that dragon, that actually puts him 1,300 gold ahead of Bebe right now. So that's a really significant lead early on. There's the dash in from Bebe, or onto Bebe. They four-man dive him. He drops very quickly, and guess what? XPK, he got that one, so he's going to be fed as well.
There was no escape, no feasible escape from that one, but the best thing you can do is at the very least push the other lanes because everyone is displaced, and that's exactly what Toys are doing here in the mid. That's a very hefty minion wave that hopefully XPK can get at least some of it, and there is the gold card laying away for Toys, and also very smart getting that pink ward for the mid because let's face it, going up against an Evelyn, you're going to be calling a lot of Mias.
And he dropped the pink ward just barely out of vision of XPK. And if XPK is trying to go in on Toys, because with the Shen ult onto Evelyn, they can get that kill very quickly. It gives Toys a little bit more reaction time to get that stun off, but it also it allows them to get vision of if he's leaving lane. Rather than throwing it in the river, he throws it in the middle of the lane so that if XPK ever leaves that spot, he can warn the rest of his team.
Evelyn going to be past the blue. She's going to really need it. Her pool's pretty low. Little Balls, though, with a relatively early Oracles. Expect to hear a lot more cheers from the crowd on that one. Rupture into the brush. I don't think he saw and rated on that one, though. We may see the Rupture, but actually, we had a hopping really quick into the lane. The minions will spot her out.
Yeah, and Lil Balls, he always goes for that aggressive early Oracles. It allows them a lot of map presence, and when they're down at this point, they need it. They can't allow Fnatic to have the advantage in that regards. But I really like it on the Cho'Gath because, again, we've seen all weekend, Cho'Gath gets very tanky early on. It's pretty difficult to take down, whereas a lot of times when he's playing that Mundo, even though he's really good at Mundo, he forces early fights and loses the Oracle. So it should be a little bit safer now. He's able to clear out some of those wards and give them back some of that advantage.
Yeah, a lot of people really underestimate how much health those early stacks can give someone like Cho'Gath. And yeah, he's the perfect candidate here.
But Stanley in the top lane laning against Soaz, there was already some nice damage onto that turret from TPA earlier, but Stanley was actually able to get some as well. So it's pretty low. And that could be a focal point. If they pick up a kill, they start snowballing some of those turrets. And Lil Ball's making his way down bot once again. He'd already cleared out the wards. If he can land the Rupture on the N-rated, he might go down.
Yeah, we've seen a mistake on the tail end of a lot of kills. So it'd be nice to turn the tide here. That top brush is warded. Not going to be landing that stun on the baby. Here comes Lil Balls. He recognizes his time. Nice shift away from Reckless. Gank averted.
Yeah, and the danger is even if they bait him in, if they allow the Zenith Blade to hit from Leona, they're probably going to go down. Like, that's how strong Leona and Ezreal are right now. They would insta-kill him, and then instead of a 3v2, it would be a 2v2 turning into a 2v1, and, Fnatic would get some quick kills, which would be terrifying. So instead, they play a little bit more cautiously. They try and get the Rupture onto Ezreal, which is going to be pretty tough to land. And so it's not really a big effort. but they are still safe, and they have the ward vision. Look, great ward vision in the
There we
bot
go.
lane in particular, because they know if they let Leona come in for a gank, and if they see anyone else or like Eve sitting in those pink wards, then they're going to die if they don't respond.
Yep. I also liked how Cyanide was there chilling in that top brush forever. Then he finally drinks the oracles and realizes, crap, I feel so silly. This thing's been warded this entire time.
And XPK moving around,
Oh,
grabbing some race. He's going to be able to get the race. Yeah, the ward going down in the mid lane. But it's going to be interesting. Mistake, he's really pushing behind some of his gold pretends because of how many wards he's getting. So it's protecting him from some of the aggression from Fnatic. But the concern is then that he doesn't fall too far behind and can't come back, doesn't have enough gold for wards later on. And Cyanide now checking out the blue. He's actually in a situation where if he doesn't see any wards, he might consider going in behind the turret, but he has to watch out for TF because they don't have vision of him right now.
Yep, there was a ping actually going beyond tier 1 in the mid. That was a really great ward placement from TPA too. They remembered what happened last time against that Caitlyn. At the very least, try and prevent it from happening a second time, but alas, the bot tier 1 does go down on TPA's side.
Yeah, so a nice early advantage. 2K gold lead for them right now. And Cyanide, he's sitting by trying to go in for that blue, but they have to be concerned until XPK joins them. But now that XPK's joined them, they can consider it, because if TF ports in, XPK is going to be waiting for him and just instantly burst him down, or just try and cut him off. XPK's actually running off to zone Toys for a little bit as they're going for this blue.
This is a pretty aggressive steal, but Toys does have the ultimate up if he decides to use it. No. Cyanide will grab that blue and also clear out another ward here.
Well, it would just be such a dangerous fight for them to do anything. Once they recognized that 4 members of Fnatic were there, there was just no way they were going to be able to fight it. Toys is out of position, though. XPK trying to get in on him. He's going to use his ultimate, try and close the gap. And Rated as well uses the ultimate, trying to get him. The Zenith blade jumping onto Toys, but the Rupture is going to turn it around. Toys just barely surviving the Ignite. It finally takes him down, and they back off. But Leona actually going down to TF before he drops, but that's still a nice benefit, getting those kills onto Evelynn.
Hey, I would trade a support for an AP any day. That's just me, but that was a fantastic kill right there. Great pursuit, wonderful flash, perfectly timed. And remember, this is also a very aggressive support game here, N-rated with the Ignite and the flash. That is a lot of damage.
Yeah, and any kills early on onto Evelynn are just absolutely terrifying. But, we'll see how they can start to, take advantage back. They're really good, TPA, at playing a more defensive game and splitting out the lanes. The only issue is Shen, he's in a pretty decent control of that top lane. So yes, Stanley is building for team fights, which is not something you see a lot. He does have the Hextech Revolver, which really helps him out there, but the Haunting Guys is a little more for team fights, though it does help a lot against SOAS. And there's not going to be the same split push that we see a lot of times from TPA. And Caitlyn usually would be in control of that bot lane, but the 3 early kills from Reckless gives that advantage completely to Fnatic.
Yeah, but Baby's doing the right thing, though. Staying down, farming on up. There's still a little bit of a creep disadvantage, and also remember that each kill is roughly about 20 creeps worth his going period. There is the teleport coming from Toys, trying to get away, but there will not be enough time. The CC's too much. He used the ultimate. We used part 1 of the ultimate. We will not be seeing part 2, the Reckoning.
And it's the Oracles in the early advantage from Fnatic that is resulting in just no map control from TPA. Toys, he keeps getting caught out. They can't get the wards down because Olaf is just clearing them out. And then Cyanide getting that undertow, able to set up N-rated very effectively. And so they have great initiation as a team. Fnatic does, and everyone's very weak. Lil Ball is actually walking into them. I don't think they're going to go for this, but actually the ultimate for Leona, he seems a little too tanky though.
But there's XPK with the Shen Shield flashes beyond the tier 1 turret in mid, and Lil Balls will be left behind. That is a down to Oracle's. Bebe has to use the flash just to get out, but it may not be enough. Mistake also getting very low, but there's Caitlyn ult. Nice body block from N-rated, and Fnatic will get out of there.
But it's an 8-3 goal lead right now. It's a 4K advantage. Ezreal, he's going to be able to push up the bottom lane some and then group with the rest of his team. Because everyone's so low on Fnatic, though, TPA is in a great opportunity to push down this mid turret. They should be able to bully them around off of that turret, get that map control back after they take it.
Yeah, this should be a relatively easy turret. They cannot right now Fnatic cannot defend it.
They know they can't.
They know they can't. Bring the disadvantage only to about 3K. It's still something manageable at this point, but they are still at a somewhat of a severe disadvantage because that's equal to a few major map objectives.
Yeah, it's a serious loss right now, and the concern is not only are they down 3.5K gold, but it's also the fact that Fnatic has a ridiculously strong team fight team. TPA, if they kite effectively, they do have really nice poke. If TF, if he keeps himself away from Evelyn, then he's going to be able to stun lock as they retreat, and that's actually going to work really well against the rest of Fnatic. But the concern is it's so easy for Fnatic to just hard engage that it's going to be difficult for TPA to respond. Though the Cho Rupture will help a little bit in that disengage.
The Cho Rupture will help, but also remember, you have now a downed Oracles, which against someone like Evelyn, you kind of need. She's very tricky, and she also needs to be seen in order to be engaged upon.
Yeah, no, losing that vision, it's really the ward control, that they've lost. You see the defensive wards from TPA going straight across, that they just, their blue side. You see the pink ward to protect Caitlyn because they know that Bebe needs to farm right now, and there's the threat that Evelyn's just going to keep on diving after Bebe and just run into that bot lane and pick up kills. So they want to clear waves very quickly and then go back to a defensive position because otherwise they know they're going to go down. And you see XPK running over to see if he can check it out. I don't think the pink ward actually saw him. I think because he went a little bit north, but they do back off, so maybe they expected it.
Low Balls, I think he may suspect something.
They saw him now, though.
There
He
we go.
walked in.
Probably got a little bit of vision. There we go. There we go. We got something. We have vision, but
mistake
caught once again.
Yeah, he just has so much damage, and he's snowballing the game very effectively, so it's really scary to deal with. N-rated, though, along with XPK, they can catch them off. The Zenith Blade coming in. Toys is in a dangerous spot. If they decide to dive that turret, they could get the Shan'all, and Vladimir, he can't defend it. So waiting a couple of seconds, it's like 10 seconds until the Shan'all is back up, and then Fnatic might go for a dive.
Yeah, and this is how critical the Sona ult is actually here, going into the mid game with her down. There's really not a whole lot. Look at that tower. That tower is about to go down. It should go down on this creep wave. Just now, Mistake responds, but will not be here in time. Shen ult is also up. There is the dive coming from N-Ray again. The stun. Little Ball's just going down in a huge flurry, but there is the Shen ult coming down on the N-Ray. Will the taunt happen in time? There is the Leona ult on Toys beyond their tier 3. But Fnatic, they got what they wanted, and are going to go back and grab the tier 2 for free.
Nice play from Fnatic, but Mistake forced to use the ultimate to protect Toys. So he's able to successfully get him out of there, but they're just hemorrhaging gold across the map right now.
Right.
This is what Fnatic's done so far this tournament. They've been very good about pressing the map, like just very aggressively. Sometimes they make mistakes with it though, and that's when they fall apart. But when the mistakes don't come, when they're successful in their pushes, they're really aggressive about just forcing objectives against their opponents.
A 3K deficit was something manageable. 6K now at the 20-minute mark. It's significantly more difficult. You're going to need an ace, or possibly even two, or maybe even sneak something like a dragon or a baron, multiple objectives stacked on top of each other to even stand a chance. But TPA, they still want to be aggressive. They recognize Soaz, down bot, does not have the ultimate anymore. He still has the teleport. He can still be present in this fight. At the very least, they may be trying to force it.
Yeah, and one of their best opportunities is going to be if they push Fnatic underneath the turrets and try and poke them down because that is their strength. But they need to drop a pink ward behind them because if Evelyn, once her ult's back up, which it is up now, if she forces a fight behind them, she's going to insta-kill Toys, and that's going to be really dangerous. But Soaz, he's been split pushing the bot, and they actually back off. So, they lose any sort of pressure on Fnatic and, are losing their turret almost because of it.
And Soaz, recognizing those wards went down, rightfully backs off. And now you see three members of Fnatic actually going up to the top lane, recognizing, hey, tier 1 and top is actually still up. We have something on our to-do list. We should probably finish that up. But there is the TF ultimate. Where is he going?
I think he might have just been using it for vision, actually.
He may
because
be.
They didn't have any awareness of where most of Fnatic was. They didn't know where XPK was. They didn't know where N-rated Reckless and Sinai were, though they just appeared up top a little bit ago. And so he was kind of concerned that maybe Evelyn might be coming in behind him to pick up the kill, or maybe they're taking another objective. So Fnatic, they take the top very easily, and look at the minion wave. They could just push right in for this second turret.
They could. They know a lot of members of TPA are currently displaced, and now that Toys no longer has that ultimate, where is he going to be? He's got nowhere to go other than to help protect bot lane.
XPK is way away from his team, though, and they see him. He actually walks into a trap, so they know he's not with the team if they decide to force it. So Fnatic forced off of the top there. They just back off. They're going to get their gold advantage back, buy some items, and once we start seeing those big items, which we just did, Warmogs onto Shen, and also the Phantom Dancer to go along with the Infinity Edge onto Ezreal, that is absolutely terrifying. So now that they've picked up their big purchases, they know that they're significantly stronger than TPA in these fights, which means TPA, they need to pick people off with Cho'Gath and with TF, and they need to slowly poke down Fnatic. But it might be a little too late because the initiation for Fnatic is so strong.
Yeah, even at the 15-minute mark, a lot of members of Fnatic had their first few big items. But even still, look at TPA. Bebe has not gotten the Infinity Edge even now. It's usually a good mark when you have your first big item as an AD before the 20-minute mark, but now it's admitting that TPA is in a little bit of trouble. There is the Lich Bane onto Toys, but not really a whole lot of AP to back that up.
Yeah, it gives him the mobility that he needs, though.
Right.
It gives him a little bit of a burst. He knows that he's not going to have enough damage to take out Fnatic in team fights right now, but he needs that movement speed in order to be able to get himself out of dangerous situations. So that's definitely a smart play by him. But TPA, Bebe's down bot, so is Cho'Gath, Lil Balls. They might try and force it on Shen, but Soaz is going to be so safe. He's so incredibly tanky. This could be top lane or go for that Baron, and now actually Evelyn purchasing the Zonias, so going to be incredibly impressive in these upcoming fights and almost impossible to deal with. Evelyn can just run at their team, she can Zonias after she forces a fight, or just have the Shen ult in and they're just going to pave the way through them.
Yeah, that is a whole heap of trouble right now. And when you have an AP who's able to itemize like that so early on, when you only have a champion like Evelyn or a Morgana or something similar like Orianna, when they get that Zonias, they go in, they start to fight. They're absolutely safe. There's really nothing that can be done. And we've already mentioned before, the rest of Fnatic, they're in a very healthy spot. Everyone's going to be too focused on Eve. Reckless over on the side. He's got plenty of damage. He's got that IE. He's got that Phantom Dancer.
Yeah, but Bebe, he actually picked up his Infinity Edge as well, and
Just
he's going
got
to be very safe. So for the most part, he should be able to keep himself safe. But I don't know, we've seen in the past with the Fnatic versus CLGNA, they actually had Caitlyn in one of the games, or Caitlyn versus Leona. CLGNA had the Caitlyn, and the Leona was just enough for them to just brutally engage a fight. And so it's always a concern for TPA. They're trying to farm, get themselves back in this game, and Toy's actually splitting versus Shen, so he can try and counter that off some. But Fnatic right now, they have the Oracles, they've cleared all of the wards at Baron, and now they're doing the Baron. They either want to force a fight or take the advantage where the poke won't matter from the heal.
And you see everyone
Stanley's
from
walking into them.
He's making move, and Rated will not be able to get some, but there is the TF ult up and ready to go. You got the pursuit. Expected Shen will be in the right position, but there is a lot of fire going on. Expected does not even use the Zonias. Why did you buy it? Rupture going down on two members of Fnatic. Immediately, Eaton will be the Leona. Soaz, can you get out there at the very least?
Watch out,
all the members of TPA. You got Stanley and Lil Balls. They're very low. Toys also somewhat weakened, but that is a quick 2 for 3.
Yeah, and Reckless, he almost could have turned that around if TPA had decided to pursue, so they knew that he had to get out of there, but perfect play from TPA.
Yeah.
They had the TF come in, and even though he's porting into an Evelyn, he knew that he had the CC with his team to protect him, and so they were able to burst down Evelyn, and that was like the turning point of that fight. Bursting down Evelyn and Caitlyn coming in, she had the Infinity Edge, so she had a lot of damage, and that actually could be a moment that's pretty key in this game. If TPA makes a comeback, if they win one more fight like that, that can slowly bring them back, but if they have vision of Evelyn and TF's ult gives them that, and can lock down XPK, that's going to be really important for them.
Yeah, another fight like that could be a dragon, or it could even be a Baron right off of it.
And part of what you saw was a big split from Fnatic, which is what resulted in that fight. They had a couple of members in the jungle. It was it was N-rated and XPK. They were trying to force the fight. Another ward from Cyanide. They were trying to see if they could pick someone off, but the rest of Fnatic,
try again.
The rest of Fnatic had to walk all the way around the Baron pit, so they were late to that fight, and that advantage gave it to TPA. But now they're doing the Baron, like you said, it's dropping very quickly, and TPA, they're not going to be in range in time, so they're going to lose this, and N-rated actually using his ultimate to make sure there's no potential for the steal.
And remember, Toys' ultimate was down over in that last skirmish, so he couldn't use it. He could not get the vision he wanted. And we mentioned before about the map control and the lack of it coming in from TPA, and that's pretty much all they got, apart from a few wards and a few cupcakes over in their own jungle. That's all they have.
Yeah, and now with that Baron regen, the poke from TPA, it's not going to matter. So, all it is for Fnatic now is to push into the base. TPA, they can clear out waves very easily. They have 3 strong wave clears, and so they're going to be able to stall a little bit. But the concern is with the Warmogs on Shen, if he buys an armor item, or maybe he doesn't even need to, he's going to be tanky enough where he can just tank that turret. Same thing with Leona. Leona's very tanky as well. And so it might not even matter if TPA can wave clear, because Fnatic, they could just force a fight underneath the turret or just bully them off the turret and take it down.
Yep. For the time being, though, everyone itemizing up the last Whisper. Now onto Ezreal, going to be melting faces all over the map.
Yeah, no, that's really dangerous. Now, I mean, he's basically completed his build.
Yep.
All that's left for him is, if he wants to upgrade his damage or, get some survivability, but he doesn't need any survivability. They have no means of pressuring Ezreal, and that means that now that he has all that damage, he's going to be really effective about just auto-attacking and, eating through TPA. So TPA, they need to continue with this play that they're doing now and make something happen. They need to grab someone. Stanley actually out of position there. Soaz chasing him down a little bit. He's going to be fine, but you look at Fnatic, they're trying to force a fight down bot. Reckless is going to push up this turret, and they have to watch out that this doesn't turn into a 4v5 with Shen ulting in on XPK, coming in right behind them, and Baby's in a dangerous spot.
This could be bad. Baby way out in front, but they know something else might be up. They let the tier 2 in bot fall. They need to regroup, defend over at their tier 3. Baby still a little bit too far out in front. You have the Rupture just to dissuade Fnatic.
Yeah,
the
and
next minion wave is coming up soon.
You saw XPK, because Bebe still has his cleanse and his flash, XPK didn't want to waste or use his ultimate. He might have been able to get the kill on Bebe, but he wants to be able to hit a number of targets from TPA and just win one ace fight. So one pick-off isn't as significant to him now. They want to pick off or ace the entire team, while Soaz is just slowly splitting down that top lane.
And Fnatic, they know they're in a really good spot, of course, by the Olaf dancing is always a class act. Love that guy. But Soaz here continuing the split push to top tier 2, now falling. He's not going to stop. He's just going to stay up there. He has the ultimate. He has a teleport. He has multiple ways to get to where he needs to be.
If TPA, though, if they can get vision of XPK and chain CC him before he gets off his Zonias and the Shen ult, that could maybe work out. But that's a lot of HP that you're talking about when you consider both of those factors. So there's not really a good target for TPA on the entire team from Fnatic. So they're just comfortable with sitting back, trying to defend the turrets, defend their base, not allow too much harass. But the longer this goes on, as the Baron's about to end, since it doesn't have a lot left, it's closer to the fact that Fnatic will force it. And there's the flash taunt from Soaz, taking down Toys. And we've seen that many, many times from Soaz so far. It's just so aggressive. And now that top tower is in a really dangerous spot. Soaz actually just tanking it rather than backing off for a sec.
There we go. Now he finally gets out of aggro range, and Stanley here, he has something to say about it, but he could be hurting quite a bit. We saw how much damage Stanley took when Soaz got to jump on him in top lane, but he knows he needs to be careful because there are still 3 members of Fnatic here down in the bot. Just every single creep wave pushing on up ever so slowly, and right now Caitlyn is preparing that bake sale with all those cupcakes, but it's not going to be enough.
Soaz, he went back to base, he bought a Negatron cloak, and he bought a Thorn Mail, which means he's going to be unkillable, but N-rated jumping in. Soaz is going to have to teleport back. Bebe cleanses and is able to get out of it, but Mistake is down. Little Balls is going to drop as well, and TPA, it's going to be hard for him to defend this.
I think this may very well be game. That was 2 really quick kills on TPA. Simon out in front. Wants to push everyone back. First inhib here for Fnatic. They have a naked inhib up top lane also. They can transition out of that. The mid tier 3 is gone. It's already gone. There you go.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get all 3 inhibitors off of this, but Toys poking down XPK a little bit, trying to force them back. Fnatic, actually, they just take their gold lead and 1 inhibitor and back off. Because they're a little bit concerned that if they get too low, now that they have Cho'Gath and Sona respawning, maybe TPA could chase them down. Maybe they could force a fight while Fnatic's not prepared. So very safe play from them. They still have a 13k gold lead. They're able to pick up the Dragon. They can buy a couple more items and then continue to push, take out those inhibitors.
And we've been seeing safe play from teams all this weekend because, let's face it, you're the LAN. You are at the big show. You do not want to let one little mistake, being a little bit too anxious, blow your lead or possibly knock you out of the tournament. There's a few $1,000s on the line between whoever wins and whoever loses here. That's a hefty chunk of change.
Yeah, it is a significant drop-off, that first place being a really impressive prize. But once again, guys, remember that you can vote throughout this game right now, and TPA looking pretty, desperate right now. It's going to be really difficult for them to make this. So, it's we'll see what TPA can try and do, but pretty sure that this is going to be over pretty soon for Fnatic.
Yeah. Fnatic right now is just cleaning up every leftover objective they can, stealing buffs, grabbing dragons when they can. Baron should actually be up in about a minute or two, and with an inhib down, it's going to be very risky for TPA to even fight it.
Yeah, we'll see. TPA mistake. He has an Oracles. He's trying to come down, but the Oracles and Cyanide, he's been able to hold on to it the entire game, and it allows him to clear out that vision. And now Shen's
this could be big.
While they're going to be forcing this top.
No, get back in the brush, Sona.
They're going to collapse on him.
They could.
TPA's out of position.
They are. Mistake once again off on the side, away from the rest of the team. But here comes the TFL walking right into the cupcake. And there's the Zonias coming in for XPK. Reckless over off on the side, shifts over the wall. Stanley taking quite a bit of damage. XPK is out of the fight right now. N-Ray coming for stun onto Little Ball. Cyanide taking a little bit too much. He does have the ultimate up N-Ray. Stanley very low off on the back side. Somehow getting away from the fight. N-Ray cannot reach with the blade. There will be no stun. And TPA decides to back off, getting their one kill.
I can't believe that TPA was able to take them down, but a big part of it was Soaz, his ult wasn't up when that fight happened. So Fnatic getting a little excited. They knew that they had a massive advantage. They knew that they had TPA in a position where TPA couldn't run. TPA would have to fight them.
Yep.
And so XPK, he was trying to chase them down. He kept walking in the traps, and that allowed TF to ult on him. Even with the Zonias, he wasn't able to survive. They bursted him down because the Shen ult was down. And that allowed TPA to be really reflexive, because once the cooldowns are out for both Evelynn and Leona, if they can pick off Evelynn or kite out the Evelynn ultimate and the Leona ultimate, then they have a great poke and kite team that can just slowly win fights. Like those really long protracted fights, if Evelynn's down and TF's okay, will be seriously in their advantage because of the TF spammable stun.
Yep, and also I feel that the fights over in the jungle actually benefit TP a little bit more, because you have someone like Caitlyn who can actually get not only at range but over very obstructing structures like the trees, like the forest walls and things like that.
Yeah, Cyanide trying to drop some more of those wards. He will get that last one.
There you go.
So they still have advantage of that Baron vision. But Soaz, he's not only split pushing, he's just going to split take the inhibitor. Caitlyn's actually coming back too, though. Soaz, he actually engages on toys, and this is the opportunity for Fnatic to take this Baron. TPA, they need to pick up Soaz quickly, or they need to engage on the rest of the team. They're deciding on Soaz, so they're just going to let up that Baron for Fnatic.
Soaz taking way too much damage. He's distracting TPA for quite a deal. But meanwhile...
Oh no, they backed off! Oh, the Ignite barely taking down Soaz. If they hadn't gotten that, that would have been brutal.
But meanwhile, in the Baron pit, look who's got it. Fnatic finish it up rather quickly.
Yeah, and TPA recognized they were going to get the Baron off of that, so they just decided to take Soaz. They realized, all right, the Shen ult is up. We're not going to be able to force a fight here. We're going to lose this situation, and Shen is possibly going to get an inhibitor on top of that, so they have to give it up. And now it's just hoping that they can defend. The issue is they're not going to be able to poke him very effectively. But
Stanley.
Stanley.
Ooh, nice. The Tides actually revealed the location. Well, he doesn't know who's there. He knows someone is there.
No, yeah, it doesn't reveal him, but he sees the Tides going towards him. He knows to get the hell out of there, and so he does. But we'll see. Fnatic, they had that inhibitor a while ago. The inhibitor is actually close to respawning.
Right.
There it goes. Actually, a red inhibitor will respawn soon, and it'll be interesting to see now. They have the Baron. If they can just bully their way into the space and take all three inhibitors.
Hey, they are naked. There is no protection. There are no tier 3 turrets any longer, and Soaz now back. It doesn't matter if he's all the way back in spawn. He's got the ultimate still
it's going on Bebe. XPK trying to take him down. Bebe's able to back out of there, but he's very low. The ultimate is down, and Caitlyn is able to heal back up off of those minions now. And the Eve ult being down, that's a serious issue for Fnatic right now if they force a fight.
But we've seen the distraction tactics before. They may still be able to get something huge off this. The mid inhib below half. Soaz also now with the team, one money taunt can actually end this game right here.
Yeah, but the flash is down for Soaz, so they can keep their positioning a little bit better, but the inhibitor drops, and I feel like if TPA, if they split up a little bit, they can be a little bit more aggressive with their harass because they outrange Fnatic. And so as long as they don't allow multiple members to get caught by the Leona ultimate or anyone key, then they should be okay to try and wear down Fnatic some. The only issue is Fnatic is so tanky at this point that it's really difficult.
But they've managed to take it unexpected before, but there is the taunt coming from Soaz. Bebe will use the cleanse just to back off, but once again, the bot inhib now slowly being poked away. it's only a matter of time. One more minion wave, that should do it.
It's very safe play from Fnatic right now. They have the Baron regen. They're not taking hardly any damage, and they're just slowly poking it down every couple of waves.
There we go. Reckless over on the side should be able to take this down once again. One more shot. That is 2 inhibs down, and a taunt on the side. Over on the Lil Balls, uses the flash to get out. Quick heal from Sona and a back from Fnatic. They have one more inhib to go. Then all 3 lanes with super minions. That's near doom.
Well, and TPA right now, because they're so far behind, they're allowing Fnatic to walk all over them. There's the taunt actually trying to get him. The Ezreal ult is also down, so TPA, they need to be aggressive. Once this third inhibitor is down, there's almost no chance for a comeback.
There's Soaz off on the side, does get gold carded, but that's XPK's time to go and uses the DFG on the Bebe just to back him off just a little bit, but off on the side, you see Cyanide, few axe swings there, Stanley out in front, forced to use the pool, Soaz still looking for some CC, looking for that taunt, but that is the last inhib now down. Mission accomplished from Fnatic. You got all the inhibs. Now it's just a matter of the base.
Yeah, and they're pretty low on gold right now, and they're all very full, so they're just going to push their way into the Nexus. Cyanide a little bit low, but the Baron regen will bring them back. And now they're close to getting some of those ultimates back up again. Ezreal and XPK, it's both like a minute off, so if they can get those back up, they can just try and ace TPA for the win. But the slow minion push, it's going to be so difficult for TPA to try and defend against it.
Flash is also almost back up for Soaz, so Flash taunt could end it, but there's a quick stun down on Lil Balls. He's caught away from the